You stirred a lot of debates in your lifetime.
Well, we stirred one thing up. We stirred action on pain clinics. There was a deficiency of training in pain. And medical schools were now forced to take courses in pain control. So that it was that death that did it. The fact that people chose death to their treatment because the treatment was ineffective.
So you think that's better now, that pain treatment in hospitals?
Well, yes, because there's more research going on in it, and you know, I referred, and many of my patients to pain clinics. I picked out some big ones that I knew about, that people had contacted me, and I told them, maybe you ought to see these people, and they go to these big experts on pain control. Anything that might help, because I wasn't looking forward to killing them or watching them die.
Yeah, he turned 4 out of 5 down.
Turned 4 out of 5 of the
people don't know that.
patients.
And they think that they walk off the street and I help them. No. I mean, we have consultations with family, with friends, and some processes go on for weeks.
But with research and with changes in medical practices, it's actually becoming more acceptable to live.
Yes. It's your choice. Under any conditions, if you want to live, the conditions you're under, and you want to keep living that way, I'll support it. But there are many people who don't. There are people who don't want to live. They want to continue. I know of adults who are not ill, they're not sick, they're not crippled, they're not depressed, they're highly successful, former CEOs of corporations who wanted to die and told you that, I'm going to kill myself. And you can't talk them out of it. You know, they've lost a mission in life, a meaning in life. Why do you think we have so many teenage suicides? It's because children instinctively feel that what's the purpose of all this? You know, they see immorality and lying among their parents, you know, and they're told in church things different than school and peers, and they don't have anybody who can really counsel them, anybody they can turn to. If they have a close friend, they're lucky, but it may be a friend who advises badly. That's why you're getting these teenage suicides.
As I said when we first sat down, you're so full of life. How old are you now?
I'm in my 83rd year.
83.
Just entered it.
Oh, he's 82.
82.
He's in his
I
83rd.
finished 82
Oh,
years.
you're 82. You're working on 83.
I'm in the 83rd year.
Okay, I got it. And any idea how long you expect to live?
Yeah. Just statistically and from experience. I know very few people live to 100 or more. So that's pretty much out of the equation. So it's got to be less. Mm-hmm. That means I have about 18 years left of life to reach 100. And I've got some arthritis setting in. I'm much weaker than I used to be, you know. Can't do what I used to do. So the odds are that the disintegration will continue. So I expect more disintegration, not improvement.
So you think maybe? We got your coffee and everything here.
Oh, you didn't have to go out and buy coffee.
Well, so 82. You figure? I mean, nobody would probably know better than you because you're an expert in this.
Well, who knows? There are no experts in longevity. There are people working on immortality. They want to discover ways humans live forever. Get that? Have you?
We call those vampires.
No. I mean, and most people, if you ask them, would you want to live forever? What would you answer?
I would say no.
What would you say? That's what most people said. They did a poll in Europe about 10, 12 years ago. old and young alike, both sexes said no. And yet they're doing research on that in medicine, which is a tremendous waste of resources. I mean, I don't think they thought clearly. They have no philosophical guidance here. Have you really thought about what life might be like then? You know? And
Yeah.
it wouldn't be the life you have now, you know?
Actually, you know, you may not be aware, but I saw one of these movies last week. Among teenagers, pretty much the most popular series of movies is about vampires who
Yeah.
live forever. It's called Twilight.
Yeah.
And in fact, this weekend I was with some of the stars of that movie, and the new one that's coming out. And it's about a normal high school girl at 17 years old who had made a decision she was going to allow a vampire to bite her and make her a vampire when she's 18. And she was going to marry this vampire and become immortal as a vampire. And so it's interesting to me that the most popular series of movies now is about actually that very subject among teenagers.
Excuse me. May I
Just
take
occur-
a sip?
please do.
May I take a sip once in a while?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Get something to eat.
But were you aware of that? Those movies?
Ice and hot.
In fact, I was with the stars of Twilight this weekend, and after seeing the movie for the first time, the new one, we screened it the other day. It's about teenagers thinking about how to become immortal. That's exactly what it's about.
Isn't that interesting that they would be thinking that at that age?
Well, that the movie would be so popular with that, yeah.
In my day, the rage was Frankenstein.
Well, nobody wants to marry Frankenstein. I know there was.
But kids are fascinated by it. We were as fascinated by kids. I was very much so. And when you think about it, you know who wrote Frankenstein, don't you?
Mary Shelley.
Yep. And it's well thought out. And Frankenstein is not the monster.
Not when it started.
No, he wasn't the monster. Frankenstein
Hollywood
was
got a
the
hold of him.
researcher.
No,
He was the doctor.
He was the
Dr. Frankenstein,
That's
right.
right. And he created the monster. And of course, Hollywood changed it, you know, that they put a criminal brain into him and all this. But it's fascinating. And as for kids, but we don't think of the implications of living forever or something, you know.
Well, actually, that raises a question that I suppose I should ask. Dr. Frankenstein, when Hollywood got a hold of him, changed him. What about Dr. Kevorkian? Is Hollywood changing you?
No, I'm not the same caliber as Frankenstein. And they made a legitimate story, you know. They even picked the university where Frankenstein went, Ingolstadt, Germany. And there he was considered a goofball because he asked a lot of strange questions, was interested in the latest research, you know.
Yeah.
She made a very credible story out of it. And it was an allegorical story. I mean, referring to humans in general. The monster was hated, and he said, the monster says, I was born with a good heart. I love people. I wanted to be kind to them. But all I got was hatred. See? And therefore he acted accordingly, because otherwise, and the monster, I'm sure, if you carried it further, would wanted to die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He didn't. And he
Please open your cookie.
He did not want to.
You need help with that?
Like the monster.
probably needs help. He has
Here,
nothing.
I'll get.
I'll
open.
the monster
Speaking of-
eventually would think I better not have been born.